Okay, let's see here. Hmm, do a quick mic check here. Hmm. Hello. Hmm. Not seeing anything mic wise. Uh, Work on this here for a second. Audio. Hello. There we go. I see some. There's some vocals there. That's good. Making sure we're set up and ready to go. We'll wait just a few more moments here before we get started. We'll see if we get some more people that are see if here get some more people that are. If there's anybody out there that can hear me, if you could please let me know that the audio sounds okay. From what I'm seeing here, it should be in good range. Should be fairly heard well. If you guys could let me know real quick. Anybody? All right. Well, hope everybody is gives me some feedback in the chat, and I hope some people give me some type of heads up for audio check here. Well, hello back at you. Let's see here. Okay, so we are up and working well. Okay, good, good. Well, there we go. Thank you very much for letting me know. The sound is good. Sabrina says the sound is good. That's good. Okay, cool. All right, good deal. Well, I hope everybody is. I'm going to go ahead and start. If anybody else jumps in, feel free to comment on the side. I'm going to go ahead and do the Intel briefing and then some Q&A afterwards, and then I'll cut out of here. I've got some good stuff for you guys. Hope you all had a good week and a good weekend and ready to start a new week. And welcome to the first live show. This was a little bit of a task for me, by the way, to figure out all the stuff. I had to get all the YouTube live set up. Did a live test and all that good stuff. Make sure everything was working earlier, just at the beginning of the weekend. So anyway, without further ado, let's get to the Intel briefing. Let's get started, and let's get through the summary part of it, so we can get to the future, the current stuff and the future stuff that's coming up. Well, a lot of Intel's coming in. It's breakneck speed, and things are picking up and changing dramatically and quickly. So let's first cover some of the history and over the past few months to where we were talking about, what we were talking about, and where we're headed later on down the road. All right, so I wanted to ask you guys before we started. I was thinking about this. Understand that you're not here just by happenstance. You're here for a reason, and whatever that reason is it's not just happenstance that you're here. I wanted to make that clear, and that it's not a mistake. That you're hearing this for a reason, and we'll cover more about that later on. So to recap some of the stuff that we've been talking about over the past few months, real quickly, is the Middle East. We're talking about the escalation in the Middle East, which when we get up to current events, I will share what I have found out, what's going on currently in the Middle East. Also, United States, we have things changing here in the United States as well that were talked about. Months ago, we spoke about the mega drought that's going on the west side of the United States, and I have current news on that as well coming out. But we spoke about it coming to a head in a situation where the cattle producers and the agriculture producers had been shutting down their businesses because they are unable to continue to keep doing what they're doing. It's not cost efficient or cost effective, so they had to sell their cattle off, I heard, and they also had to shut down as much farming as they're doing as well, and because there's no water. That's what we were talking about a few months ago, that the water is a dire situation on the western half of the United States. Also, talking about Russia, China, and Iran. Months ago, we spoke about how these three countries are getting together and working together, and that they are all one and the same, or headed towards being one and the same. And that's what we were talking about a couple of months ago. We also talked about behavioral issues that were coming months ago, that there would be a situation where we would start to notice people are agitated, confused, and not in a good mood, not in a good state. And I have some current information on that as well, that we had talked about a couple of months ago or so. I think the food shortages situation that has begun is starting to show more and more signs of hard to keep up with stuff. We talked about that I think here a month or so ago, that food shortages are coming, and readily available food as normal is going to be interrupted, as it is right now here and there, but not so much in our country here in the United States as it is in the other countries, like the UK is starting to have some issues with it, and we will continue to have some. I have some current information on that as well. We also want to talk about the weather. A few months ago, we were talking about the compression of the atmosphere coming down, and the Earth's crust is swelling up because the core of the Earth is swelling due to radiating. As a matter of fact, all the planets on our solar system are swelling and causing the Earth's crust to be under great amounts of pressure, and going to create more sinkholes. You're going to see more frequent sinkholes coming up in the near future, and we'll talk more about that as well, and closer to the other side of this briefing. And also, the earthquakes have picked up. We've had several large earthquakes. We were talking about the increase a month or so ago as well. Let's see what else. We talked about the shift. The shift, there were some questions about that, and when I first couple of months ago discussed it, and then I found out the information that it is happening right now. We are going through it right now, and it's just started, and over the next few months, this shift is going to start to be noticeable and start to be very, very clear, which I have an update on that as well. It's going to be a good night, really good night, guys. We also talked about another pandemic several months ago in September. We'll talk about that. I have new news on that and updates on that, because I'm sure anybody who's watching the mainstream news media has been watching the news administration from Biden and other folks in the Intel news media, as mainstream wise, has been telling everybody, put your mask back on. If you've gotten a vaccination, put your mask back on. And we're going to be talking about that as well. But we were discussing that this event was coming a couple of months ago. Also, we spoke about the elites here, the centralized World Bank, and the elites that they have a plan for us, and the plan has been put into motion, and we are seeing this plan, the beginnings of it. So, and it's going to move at a very rapid pace. So that being the summation of the stuff that we were all talking about, it seems like it's moving on and continuing forward. Had it declined or anything like that or stopped, then they would have raised question marks and red flags for me to recheck everything and analyze everything to figure out what had happened, if the intel was wrong or not. And if I ever hear of intel being wrong, I will definitely bring it to y'all's attention and say, hey, this was not analyzed correctly. There was mistakes made, and this is not the situation. But this is, and what, it's something else that we don't know yet, or we do know, and we'll break it down for you. And like I said, it's good to keep things fluid and not so concrete. That way, because mistakes and changes, they happen, they are made. So let's see. Let's move into it as far as the current, the recap on everything in the past few months. And you guys who have been listening or gone back and listened to all the videos, there is a storyline that was being told about the near future, the immediate future, and now we're here in the current events. And let's get into that now and move into the current events. I currently am hearing in the Middle East that I talked to you guys about a Saudi Arabian crowned prince. And we were speaking about him and talking about him on the show here, I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and how he is being picked and selected for something to do. And that would be the Dubai meetings, that the richest and wealthiest individuals in the Middle East, along with the countries themselves, meeting in Dubai. And they are raising up an army, if I hear. The intel group is telling me they're raising an army and they need a leader. And the leader will be the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. And we were speaking about that here so ago. So that situation is about to pop. Basically, it's going to come out on the world scene here. We also have Russia and China and Iran beefing up the country of Syria, prohibiting Israel to get into Syria right now. There's a lot of attacks going on in Syria from Israel by drones or from the planes flying at such a high altitude just on the border of Syria and Israel, or Lebanon and Israel, or Iraq borders into Syria, that they are firing stuff off from a great distance and attacking places. The problem that I'm hearing is that Russia's upset because these places that they are attacking are very close to Russian installations and Russian assets. And Russia's like, this is a little too close for our comfort. So they are upgrading the protection of Syria with missiles and all kinds of defense systems and things like that that I'm hearing. Also, China's helping out with that as well. And China's definitely starting to move closer and closer and more participating into, participating more into in Iran is in Israel, according to intel sources, that a lot of intel coming in, that Israel and Iran are they're in a tit for tat right now. There's been tankers and boats and places back and forth in the Persian Gulf, as well as other parts of the waters close by, that there has been attacks on Israeli ships and nature. Also, there's been attacks on Iranian nuclear facilities. And they've had some explosions and sabotage and all the good stuff, and that would probably be probably Israel. I mean, we can't say for sure, but making sure that Israel does not have a productive day with their nuclear facilities or any other weapons plants that they have. They're making sure they take their work very seriously in stopping and prohibiting Iran from getting certain things, because they know that there's a big threat for Iran to attack Israel. So, and then they are doing that through their proxy militias that are in Syria, moving closer and closer. Current news also right now states that the intel groups are saying that there is a group of Iranian proxy militias that are close to Damascus right now, and they are massing up there right now. And there is a great concern. Israel's monitoring the situation, and I've heard that there's going to be some really big weapons go off over in that area. That's what I'm hearing. Some really big weapons. So new tech's probably coming out is what we're seeing, and all that good stuff from the war is the war in the Middle East is pumping up to do the little skirmish that it's going to do, or the little tit for tat that's going to escalate into a small violent moment. But I've got some new intel that I'm going to release here shortly about that, as far as Russia, China, and Iran, and the Muslim nations that are going to be rising up against Israel here fairly soon. I heard some intel, current events is the U.S. Western drought, the mega drought. I've heard that we have a situation going on. There was somebody who came out of the darkness, just flying out of darkness, very upset. An individual who spoke on some podcasts and stuff, and disclosed information about what that person had heard in various meetings that they kind of were led into, and they were all about it and all on board until they found out what was going on. It was very disturbing. That individual went ahead and played along with the situation to see how deep the rabbit hole would go, and lo and behold, they found out a whole bunch of stuff very disturbing. But it breaks down to this: the mega drought is happening naturally, but the government here in the United States has aided it in being worse than it could be. They could actually help the situation out, but they actually, I heard, diverted rivers and stuff like that to go out of the ocean to deprive the western half of the United States from getting the water supplies they need to continue on with life there. There are a lot of rural areas in the western half of the United States right now that are without water, and there's water being trucked in. And Northern California, Northern Nevada, southeastern Utah, southwestern Utah, southeastern Oregon, and other places in that area, the water is out. So, I mean, they're having to truck it in. And people are having to bring, according to the source, they're having to bring large white containers. The families are getting X amount of gallons of water per week, and they're not allowed to water the grass or anything. And they're also they're getting, for gardens and stuff, some type of tank to store manure so they can spray that on their gardens and stuff. Some watery manure substance that they're having them put on their gardens and stuff to keep some type of fertilizer and watering going on. And there is restrictions and stuff. And the person went also further to state that the goal of the government here in the United States is to evacuate a lot of the rural areas of the western half of the United States. You can Google a lot of this stuff if you go to the state news level for Utah, Nevada, Idaho, North Dakota, South Dakota, New Mexico, Colorado, Nebraska, of course, Arizona, and California, Oregon, and Washington. They are having a serious mega drought, and there's lots of news on that. That's a problem that the news is not making it to the mainstream news media. Big problem. Why aren't we hearing about this? It seems like there's something going on that is being I don't know, managed by the media to just keep it, only at the local level. But there's lots of local news in these cities, lots of local news in the state of these states on the western half of the United States. Type in the mega drought and the stuff will pop out. It'll pop up. And the flood that happened in Arizona was very much a situation where did it break the flood or the drought? No, it really didn't break the drought, but it helped. Every little bit's going to help. But rushing water coming by and going downstream doesn't do much to help out with the drought. But it was good that they got some participation for sure. But Google the events that I'm talking about, the mega drought in the western half of the United States, and the articles will pop up. It should pop up. I've noticed that I've looked on certain things with my certain computers that I get the articles easily, and I noticed that my iPhone and stuff, they're not it's like you can't find it, and I'm just like there's it's like there's some kind of censorship or something like that going on. I guess moving on, we've got the situation with the pandemic that we just had, and we are lining up for another one. You can see in the last 48 hours that the Biden administration or Biden himself was talking about possible another lockdowns or heavy restrictions. This is hurting our economy, and this is hurting the economies around the world, and there's a reason for that. And I'll be getting to that here at the end of the briefing as well. I've got these are current events that I'm telling you about, so if we can get to the future type of thing. Um, the the people are being asked to put their mask back on, even the vaccinated. Intel is coming out that more people are getting the variant, but they're not getting as sick. I want to make that clear. They're not getting as sick, but they're saying like 70 some places and locations, Massachusetts, and other locations and other places here in the United States are getting a high number of the people that are getting the variant are vaccinated, and the folks that aren't getting it as much. It's kind of interesting. I hope everybody stays safe. Boost your immune systems. Practice social distancing, all that good stuff. Stay healthy, stay well. That's what we need to be doing. But I have current events are dictating that we're headed into another global lockdown. I think Sydney, Australia, they went into another full lockdown. The people are very upset and again very much ready to retaliate against their government by protesting out in the streets and don't care. And I think that has something to do with there is something that is planned here. There is something that we're going to get to in the future. The new intel that I got, I'm going to release here shortly, is that we are headed somewhere with this. We are headed somewhere with this situation to where it is part of a plan. And I have seen some things, and I'm going to mention some things that you guys can research and Google, and you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll see it's there, and the information is very important as far as those who want to keep up to what looking down the road. Those of us who want to see the train coming down the road, to make sure we don't stand on the tracks. So see, let's see. Next point here we're talking about is as the next lockdown comes on, I imagine you're going to see the communities in the world protest against it. They're already doing some of that stuff in France, Ireland, Africa. There are places that are trying to be quarantined, and they are not compliant people at all with their governments. So, and there is a interesting thing with that, the fact that we have a not current situation. That the people aren't believing the government or wanting to follow the government right now for some reason. There is a mistrust going on. There is an uneasiness. There is a feeling of just not trustworthy, that don't believe what they're saying, and because it's hurting the businesses and everything so bad. So moving on into the situation we have, at this time, I think the following information I'm about to release is this is the intel briefing part about, like we did a couple of months ago, the things that are coming up and that we're seeing now come to fruition. Now I'm going to release some more intel and more details about what we're headed into and a little bit further down the road, according to the Alphabet Soup Group guys and gals that I listen to. I think that there is a highly possible situation. The worldwide events that we're about to see, you're going to see you're going to see a lot more protests as they try to lock down the planet. You're going to see a lot of rebellion and a lot of problems. The armies of these countries may be called in to control their people, as well as here in the United States included. And this is all part of a plan again. And here we are at this moment where I'm going to reveal to you the plan. The plan that I spoke about a couple of months ago is, I told you that the elites and the fallen angels are in meetings with each other, and they have a plan. Unfortunately, I found out that the governments of the world have agreed to work with them on this plan. So there is going to be basically controlled chaos. The stuff that you're going to see in the streets and in the world news and stuff about how bad it's going to be, and the media is going to play it in a certain angle and deliberately make it look worse than it is, or maybe not as bad as it is on certain topics and issues. And they're doing this to create a fear, and to bring down the economies, and to because the change that's coming, the change is, the changes of currency is about to happen here in the next as we continue down 2021 to the end, um, all the businesses and all the countries' financial markets and stuff are going to hurt because of this constant lockdown restrictions, shipping interruptions and stuff because of restrictions and stuff of this nature. There's going to be limited food, and producers won't produce as much, and going to make the food shortages worse. And it's a real life situation. It's a real life threat, a real life situation that can produce an outcome that they want. I think I think that they deliberately are going to bring down all the governments of financial monies and stuff so they can go to a great reset that some of the financial guys and gals have been talking about. And I think that, like I said, it's all according to the plan. Also, they have strategically planned the shock and awe for us. And let me tell you what I have found out. They are willing, and when I mean they, I'm talking about the elitists. I'm talking about the fallen angels. They literally are able and wanting to give us as much shock and awe as we can stand. Whatever's going to make us give way and come running to the government to help us and fix us, and to get us sustaining life and get us back on some track of existence as a civilization. They are willing to give us as much shock and awe as they can, as much as we can stand to get us there into that running in fear situation. And that's what we can plan to see over the next few months and into the end of 2021, going into 2022. So you're going to see more plagues. You're going to see more pestilences. That comes just hand in hand with this stuff. And you're going to see an increase in earthquakes. You're going to see an increase in bad weather. And you're going to start, well, it's already started, but you're going to see more and more Christian persecution. It's going to start to be on the news about that pesky religion thing. It is a more harmful thing than a good thing. And the goal and the plan, like I said, is global governance. The elites of the world, talking with the fallen angel, are changing the world to a global governance. Which, big surprise there, right? For those of us who study. And I can tell you furthermore that this stuff is it's going to work. I wished I could say they're going to fail miserably, that they're going to fall flat on their face, but I can't, because I know that the time and age that we're in, the end of the age that has ended and the beginning of the age we're in, is changing to a point where, Satan is the god of this world right now. A lot of people don't realize that. He's not in hell. He's the god of this earth right now. He has control, and he is in full swing and full power. And his daddy's telling him, our Heavenly Father telling him, give it your best shot, and he's telling him, do your worst, and I'm going to clean up the mess. And these are the guidelines. These are the rules. He doesn't have complete unlimited control. He does have perimeters that he has to operate in, and he does have to. He can't break out of those perimeters. He can't because our Heavenly Father won't let him. And that's the way it's going to be, and that's final, and we know that. And I'll tell you, here is some of the intel that I heard about the over the next year. By the time that this same time, August the 1st of 2022 comes around, I would not be surprised one bit if we are seeing technology being introduced and implemented into the system as they create this hectic world, and they give us the shock and awe to get us to be more compliant and to fold and to embrace our government's cure to this big problem in the world, all these problems, and a new way of life to help us out. They're going to introduce a tattoo. Also, you guys can look up the nanotechnology of tattoos. You can Google that, and I really think you should read and do some studying on that tech. They have a tattoo that basically goes on your skin, and it has nanotechnology. Now, this nanotechnology is capable of getting into your skin, running through your body, and can analyze and give diagnostics about how you're doing as a human. And there's even an enhancement that comes with that. And you can Google Neuralink. Neuralink is something that is already out there. This tech exists along with the nanotechnology tattoos. That the Neuralink is basically it's basically making your physical you and the what am I trying to say? The Wi-Fi you, your virtual world you, it's bringing you all together on this side and on the other side of the in the virtual world and in here in this world, the reality, you're going to exist in both in a more higher capacity by the Neuralink, along with the nano tattoos that have nanotechnology robots in it. The sad thing is that if you take the mark of the beast, which is coming, that if you are in fact called home by our Heavenly Father, you won't be able to go. If you have this mark with this nanotechnology on it, it will change your body and it will heal you from your ailments and your sicknesses. It will also take great care of you and also give you a heads up of surgery or maintenance that your body needs to keep going. You know, it says in the Bible that men will be praying for death and death will flee from them, and things of this nature. So I expect we'll see this in about a year. I'm not sure, but I'm throwing this out there because I know the changes are going to happen really fast, faster than we've ever seen before. The elites have put the plan into effect when the pandemic first one kicked in. That's when they started. The shift that's happening now is pushing us out of the way we normally have routined our lives here in America and all around the world. They are doing oh yeah, right, Sabrina. Yeah, we're going to talk about that here just shortly. That's a high probability. I think the Neuralink and stuff and the tech that's coming into play is the control. That's why anybody who takes the mark of the beast is unable to go to heaven, because you exist in this virtual world. You also exist in reality, and the nanobots will keep you alive, and that makes it hard for you to go to heaven. If you get called home and you can't come, it's because you belong to somebody else. You have gone to a different path, and that's going to be a sad thing, because we know that anybody who's read the Bible knows that there's a multitude that goes this route. That they want to eat, they think this is their reality, to the point where they can't think of heaven or want to go that route, or not even worried about that. They're just worried about their next meal, worried about their lives down here, and in trying to save their life down here, they may lose their eternity with heaven, and that's. I pray for everybody. I pray for everybody that we get past that. So, how do I know that this kind of stuff is going to happen? Somebody asked me that earlier this week, passing by. They said, "How do you know? How are you so sure? How do you? I mean, you've got no proof." And I told them, "Well, I said, you have to understand that I'm a big time eschatologist and study of end timer stuff, over 25 years of it, and I understand that this. I knew this time was coming back then, and now we're here. So I know this is Matthew 24. I know that this is the time, the beginning of sorrows that we're in, and we're transitioning into the tribulation. And I think it's going to expedite. It's going to pick up speed. It's going to hit the gas. I don't expect any delay at all. And they're going to bring us all this shock and awe and everything. And think by the time we get to this time next year, we're probably not even going to recognize humanity. We're probably not going to recognize the economic system. We're probably not going to recognize the human condition. At that time, it'll be like a whole new world. That's what I'm guessing, and what I'm foretelling, I guess you could say. So that is some of the intel that I've got. It's any detail or anything that you've got that you want to ask, go ahead and ask. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys ask any questions. I will respond to them. Sabrina asked us social ratings that they are doing in China also will probably come here too. I totally agree. I don't think that it's going to be long, probably by end of year or in the beginning of the spring of next year. Social rating worldwide, pretty much. I think artificial intelligence is going to span out, and or if it hasn't already, and it's getting ready to do this kind of stuff. And I do agree that this the pandemic stuff, it is a primer. It is being utilized as a primer of many things naturally occurring and also effectively being planned to do. That's one of the. I agree completely that it's being utilized all for one plan that the elites and the fallen angels have. Let's see here. How do you know, though, that this is the beginning of sorrows by eschatology and what it says in the Word? Okay, that's a good question. I think that well, I don't think I can say that looking at the world it has been for the last 20 years or so, and I've been watching and world events and stuff. We've been living in a blessed age. We have no pandemics. You know, to say, there's been pandemics from time to time through history, but we haven't had any heavy asteroid hits or any crazy weather. We've had some earthquakes here and there and stuff like that, but there's definitely been an uptick. And very clearly the son of our heavenly Father Jesus was asking was asked repeatedly, tell us the sign of your coming. And he was basically saying, see that nobody fools you, and he'll come in my name saying I am the Christ and deceive many. And he said, then there'll be plagues, famines, plagues, pestilences, earthquakes in diverse places, and but the end is not yet. This is all the beginning of sorrows, and that's the we're starting to see a major uptick in plagues, pestilences, famines coming right along the way, and the food shortages and stuff, and we are seeing earthquakes in various places. It's not being covered, but it's happening. There was 8.2 in Alaska here or a few days ago. There's also some large ones in South America. Also, in other places around, there's been 6-pointers, 7-pointers happening, and none of the news is covering that. So it looks like, as far as also the one thing is Ezekiel 38 and 39. Russia coming down into the Middle East was a major event. It talks about the king of the north in Ezekiel 38 and 39, the prince of Rosh. Rosh is Russia. And it basically says they come down from the north and into Syria, and they're going to go at some point in time here in the immediate future against the northern borders of Israel to take back the Golan Heights. And when they take the Golan Heights, it's going to be a very violent situation in the Middle East, and there's going to be a lot of bloodshed, extreme violence, and probably weaponry going off in a big way, and technology, war weapons used in a big way as well to do max damage. It'll be a gruesome sight. I'm sure it'll be horrible to watch, but nonetheless, it's lets me know when Russia came down that we were getting ready, and now we're seeing pandemics and pestilences and the earthquakes and everything's upticking. And this August, I'm telling you, this August, we've started August 1st today. We're going to see a mega gamma ray wave is fixing to hit the Earth. And it's according to NASA. You can look this up on NASA's article about this. We're about to hit with a gamma radiation wave that is 14 million times more stronger than the energy of the Milky Way itself. And I'm not sure of the effects it's going to have on us. I'm not really sure. I'm doing some work on that, some research on that. And I think that there is going to be some serious effects from it. I'm not sure what it's going to be or how devastating it's going to be, but I'm sure we'll get through it. I'm sure as a human race we'll get through it, but we'll see what comes of that. And also the following the hit from the gamma ray radiation hit, I heard that sometime this month here real soon, we're going to have a meteor storm, and some debris from outer space is the solar system's wandered into it, and we're fixing to have a meteor storm. So things are going to be falling out of the sky. Some of the pastors I know and stuff are talking about the seals that are Revelation are starting to break, and I think I'm going to agree with them on that. I think that the rider on the black horse or rider on the red horse, I think these seals are breaking. So that's the answer to the question. Let's see, we've got another question here. See, what do you say to people this time is no different than the other time in history where there were famine, pestilence, earthquakes? Like they will cite prior plagues and famines. Okay, that is interesting in history that we've had these things and events, but we haven't had them all simultaneously. Something that Jesus said they would start happening simultaneously, and that gives us the heads up to understand. Also, the other things happening: Russia moving down the Middle East, and also seeing the technology that's at hand, and the pandemic's bringing down the world economies, headed towards probably a one world currency and one world governments. That wasn't happening at any other times at all simultaneously, which gives us a heads up, a red flag saying, hey, pay attention to those of us who are on the wall because trouble's coming. Looks like if at any point in time that anything or we divert from this and this stuff doesn't happen at the speed that it needs to happen, then I will tell you that flat out. I will admit right here, right, I will go live and say, look, I was mistaken. I have no problems saying that I'm mistaken at all. And I'm a human and I'm fallible. And I can make mistakes and I have no problem saying that, hey, I was wrong, that this is not what I thought it was, and just keep a weather eye on the sky. But I am a watchman on the wall, as I think that I was pretty much started this eschatology 25, 26 years ago. Life-changing event happened to me, and that started the studying, to the point of I knew what was coming in the future back then, and I was waiting for it, and waiting for the return of Jesus Christ. And in doing so, when all this stuff started to happen, I realized real quick. I was like, yes, yes, we are seeing the end times begin, the beginning of sorrows, and uh, and the things that are going along with it. So I mean, there's also the uh, the pastors that are agreeing out there are also upset that the pastors in most churches aren't covering this stuff, and they're saying they need to. So I'll keep you guys posted. The intel briefing I was telling you guys, there's a ton of intel coming in. Not all of it is relevant to the end times. Some of it is just cannon fodder. Some of it's just bric-a-brac. To me, it's like that it has to. I filter all the intel that I get through the Bible. If it doesn't have direct Bible stuff, I kind of take it in with a grain of salt and soak it in. So anyway, that's the difference between all the historic things. We had a huge Spanish flu pandemic outbreak years and years ago, killed 250 million people, stuff like that. But at the same time, there wasn't any food shortages and famine starting. There was no heavy earthquakes all over the earth. There was no, a lot of stuff that wasn't happening when they had the last pandemic that was really brutal. 250 million people dying, but and there wasn't another one right behind it. And I think Matthew 24, it says plural, pestilences, it says plagues and famines. So it's plural, and means multiple, means we're going to have a lot of each. So that's and earthquakes in diverse places. So that's and we're having the beginning signs of that. So anyway, um, any other questions that you got? Yes, yes. Yes, yes, I can speak more about that. I have some intel. I forgot. Thank you for reminding me. I'll tell you what. I have so much information. Some of it gets by me, and I have to write this stuff down. There's pages of it when I'm intel briefings and stuff, and I keep records, by the way, as well. All right. So the situation with that is this: is a couple of months ago we discussed that the human condition was changing. We discussed that there was we would see people get angry, frustrated, and even confused, and we talked about time dilation. Well, let's currently right now, almost every country there is protesting and upheaval and violence going on. Almost in every country now, and I'm shocked that really that a couple of months ago we were talking about this, and now you're hard pressed to find a country that's content and happy, a nation of people to the earth, and we grow so quickly accustomed to the new norm. This is going on now. And 10 years ago, none of this kind of stuff was happening. The worldwide protests that are going on worldwide, none of it's happening now. And there is an uptick in the mental condition. Our folks out there, I know personally, telling me that they seems like everybody's driving down the road rage stuff. And I think that there is a lot to be said, right? Kind of freaky. I'll agree 100%. They are. That, like I said, 10 years ago, you would be hard pressed to find protests going on in every nation that's out there. But yeah, I can't really name off any major countries that are happy, where the people are happy with their government or happy with their living conditions. And and I think that the world is in a transitional stage. The time dilation that I heard about, I'm waiting to hear more about that. I'm waiting to hear more effects of that, where there's time distortion. Now, I've heard some little, nothing, nothing to talk about yet, but I'm guess any good stories. I have asked the listeners hey, bring me stuff. If you get anything good, I'd love to know. The more eyes and ears out there, the more watching, then the better we are going to be prepared for it. But the lockdowns continue to happen. People are going to get more agitated. I expect as time dilation kicks in more and more, and gravitational forces happen here, and the radiation exposure that we have to our human bodies, I think we're going to see a human condition, our happiness or mentality, it's going to be and not in a good way. So that's a good statement there, Sabrina. That's right. not just with the pandemic, but other stuff before it. Yeah, it's true. I agree 100% that the things are definitely changing. The world's changing right before our eyes, it happens sometimes not at a fast enough pace for we as human beings. We just accept it. We just accept it and move on. Well, that's okay. It's that way now, and okay, now it's that way now, and okay, now it's that way now, and then and next thing you know, everything's completely changed, and the new norm is it's fine. But I don't think we're ready. I don't think the population of the Earth's ready for the rapid pace that the elites have planned for us. What I'm hearing, the intel guys are saying that the humans around the world are not ready for what's coming, what has started, and they are not ready for this massive change real quick because people don't like change. People don't like change at all. Rapid change makes people unedged, on edge and untrustworthy. They don't trust, untrusting and irritable and confused. And I think we're going to see this multiply here as we go into August and September. I agree. It's moving very fast, and it's going to pick up speed, and the human condition is going to have to endure. The one thing I can tell you is this: is the positive message out of this is definitely we've got to look at the greener pasture here and understand that this is not the end of the world. And I can't say that enough. Out when I'm talking to people, this isn't the end of the world. People say people like me are doom and gloomers, and I'll get to that in just a second. I think that there's a doom and gloomer stuff, mentality that you're a conspiracy theorist. Oh, you're a prepper. Oh, you're a doom and gloomer. All you talk about is death and everything, and that's not true. My message is that the return of Jesus Christ is coming very soon, and that's to end this crazy dark hour that we've entered. And I think that that's very clear to me that's the good news is like all of this stuff is happening. That's why he needs to come soon because he's gonna get us. He's gonna have the answers. He's gonna get us out of this mess. And I think that's the happy point of this whole thing is that the devil and the elites of the world are going to give us their best to destroy and our way of life and bring us into their constructed world that they have for us. And for those of us who don't go, that's make the right decision. We'll go on to be in heaven, and the others, well, they'll go on to be with whoever they join up with, whoever they attach themselves to. And I think that it's not a doom and gloom thing. It's hey, get ready for the big change. Get ready for the big change. Understand we're going to have to endure a dark hour, and it's just there's no getting around that. It says in the Bible, it's not a doom and gloom situation. He told us beforehand that this was going to happen, which was a great thing that he did that. Long time ago, he told us this was coming. He knew it. He's outside of time. He saw that, so he knew. It's good news to let us know this isn't the end of the world. This is actually the preparation for the return of Jesus Christ to take the church out, probably in the rapture, with a short period of time, come back and reign for 1,000 years and cast the devil and everybody who follows him off into the pit. And that's what's coming. They have been defeated. I'm working on some spiritual warfare stuff for everybody who wants to listen. And I plan on putting some stuff out there to give the concept because I know that there are dark forces out there in prayer and that are praying against the Christians, that are praying against this world because they want to change it to their world and they want to be free. They want to do whatever it is they want to do without any consequences or fear of retaliation from our Heavenly Father. That's what they're up to, and they are at work in masses right now. They are at work because they know the time is short. Let's see here. Come soon, Jesus. That's right. Come soon. Yeah, let not your hearts be troubled. That is correct. That is correct, Sabrina. That's right. Let not your hearts be troubled. God didn't give us a spirit of fear, but He gave us a brain to use. And I'll tell you, panic mode is not using your brain. Panic mode is not what we want to do, and that's the reason I'm spreading the word. I spread the word about whatever the intel stuff that's going on, and let everybody know who's going to listen to spread the word themselves. to put it out there. I do have a contact, and I will put it out there, and I will be um, available by email, and maybe in the future we'll do a Zoom meeting. I foresee that coming very soon, especially when everything upticks. I imagine there's going to be more intel coming out about that this next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday in the intel briefings that I'll be going into. That is correct. You cannot make good decisions while panicking. That's right. That's why you got to stay calm and move on. Stay calm and move on. And know that our Heavenly Father has got this. He's got our back. A backup channel. Yeah, I've thought about that because I was wondering even tonight if I would get pulled off tonight. I've had some very interesting things happen with my computer, and I've had some very interesting things happen with around my life personally in close proximity while I was headed to do this. And I'm not sure if I made a list or if I'm anything like that, or it's just keeping an eye on. I have no idea. But anyway, let's see here. Let me. I am going to create an email and I will put it out. I will put it out, and I will definitely be also making a backup channel because I have a feeling in the future they're going to try to stop this. I have a big feeling that my gut telling me that this time is short with this. I don't think this will be going on too long, and I'm really, it's of no consequence to me. Yeah, I will be meshing an email out for you guys to ask any questions, and in the near future, the other resources that I have, I might be just. I think that I will be with a backup channel if I get kicked off a backup channel, because I was already putting it out earlier this week that if this was knocked off the air, that I would go into and post it immediately, and that's something that I was wondering if it was going to get kicked off the off YouTube there. So anyway, let's see what else. If they do try, like I said, the resources and stuff. I think by the time all this gets said and done, it gets out there, and they find out what's going on here on these live shows or the intel briefings that I release that are pre-recorded. I think that there's a discussion that will probably be talked about as far as what to do after that. I think they're going to start policing this type of talk very, very soon. I wouldn't be surprised by the end of the year that freedom of speech is going to be highly regulated and shut down. So there you go. I think there's some other folks that I'm listening to that they have backup channels that are not on YouTube, and I'm searching out a backup channel to go to that's less intrusive, like YouTube. There's things I can't say tonight. There was a whole lot of things I can't say tonight because of the regulation that's already there. I've got one strike against me because I said a word that I wasn't supposed to say, and it blocked it, and then I re-recorded it and put it out different wording, and it flew. So I got one strike against me, and if I get too many strikes against me, they're gonna pull me from YouTube. So yeah, so I have to be careful with everything I say. So I'm already kind of halfway gagged already. I can't speak just freely. You hear me laughing in some of the briefings and pre-recorded. You'll hear me laughing because I can't say what I want to say. Okay, so so yeah, you were saying that this is insane. That people are accepting this. Yep. Yeah. It's. I agree with you. I agree with you. It's funny how people are rolling over and saying this is all good. That sounds good. I think well for right now we're good right here, but I'm searching out another platform. There are other people out there following. Let's see. I'll say Alex Jones. He has been kicked off YouTube. He has been kicked off a lot of media, but he's on some media sites that he can. He is on some other platforms that he can get out there and say whatever he wants. And I'm looking forward to getting something close to what he's using or using what he's using if I can get there. Just depends on the logistics of it. How much is it? How much is it going to take for me to get it done? That's That's pretty much what I'm looking into and investigating. But I'll release an info, an email very soon, very soon. I'm going to make an email just for this channel and be able to correspond back and forth. Anybody who send me anything they want to send me, or correspond with me as far as any questions or anything like that. Okay, all right, good deal. Let's see. Well, I want to thank I want to thank everybody that showed up tonight. I'm not sure how many people we got. It'll give me the analyzation of what happened tonight. And like I said, I only expected just a few of us to be online anyway, and I'm not, it doesn't bother me one bit. If one person out there, if just one, I'm a happy camper. I'm a happy camper. I don't think it'll stay at just one. I have too many people that I know that that have laughed at me in the past, that are my good friends and family members, that they are starting to notice what's going on, and they are very much asking me questions now, and they're like, "Hey, what were you saying about this 10 years ago? You were talking about this. What was that all about? Is that this?" And I'm starting to get that. It's vindicating. I'll admit it, but it's not about me. It's about getting the word out there and getting the people ready for the transition that's happening is occurring. You are so welcome, guys and gals. If you guys have no other questions, I will say good evening to you, and I look forward to getting working on the next pre-recorded video coming out on spiritual warfare, about what our brothers and sisters as Christians should be doing to help each other out, and also help ourselves out to battle against what's going on, the darkness that is taking over the planet. So I'm so forward to looking getting that out to you guys, and telling you about the power of prayer, and how to address the dark forces that are addressing us, because they are addressing people out there. They are talking to people out there, and we'll get into that soon. All right, guys. If no further questions, I'll bid you good night. Have yourselves a great week. Be blessed. Stay safe. Be well. Chieftain News out.